let me guess, you want to make things move on your website without doing any code. Well, in this case, we got you. Interactions provide just that. You can program without coding certain logical connections between your elements on your layout so they can move and be interactive. So let me show how that works. Here we have a simple layout, and we want to assign an interaction to this button, for example. So I want to click this button and I want something to move on my page. For example, I want this image to change dimensions or wherever. So to do that, you select your trigger, and trigger is something that launches an interaction. It's a button, or it's a hoverable area, or it's literally any element on your layout can be a trigger. In our case, it's going to be this little button. So you do that, and then you click this little plus sign, which will assign interaction to this button, and let's call it interaction. Hit create, and we're getting into this interaction modeler or interaction settings panel, which consists of two states: default state, which is default state, and state number 2, which is what happens after your trigger being clicked or hovered. So in our case, the trigger will be a click on this button. You can also change it to hover in, but in our case, let's keep it as a click. So let's move to the second state, just like that. And now we can play with our layout and adjust our elements. So for example, let's stretch this image to be like that. You see it appeared here. So now we can quickly preview our animation by interaction by switching between states. And as you might see, it changes dimensions. You can also add additional settings to your element. For example, you want to rotate it a little bit, just like that. That's it. Now we can preview it and it's gonna slightly rotate. You can also play with your settings. So here, if you expand this panel, you can see all the changes that's happening to your element upon interaction. So there is like X position, is width, and there is a rotation. And now you can prioritize them. So for example, I want to delay my rotation by few seconds, for example, fraction of a second, just like that. If we preview it right now, we'll see that first it will stretch and then it will rotate up. You can also add easings. For example, you can add easing to the whole group. You can add ease in and ease out. Up. And you can change the duration and also add delays. And add as many settings as you really want. So those are basic interactions. Also here it's important to understand the menu. So while you see this blinking red dot, it means that recording is in progress, like what I'm doing right now. But so anything you change on your screen right now will be recorded into interaction, rather in a state 1, which is default, or state 2. Also, when you click state 2, this little number appears stating that your interaction is in state 2 right now. You can actually uncheck your recording, so now nothing is being recorded, and you can close your interaction and you can leave it at state 2 if you want. Or you can come back, select your interaction, bring it back to the default, then close it and get on with your layout. Now you can edit everything on your layout and it's not going to be recorded into interaction. Pretty cool. Another little thing that can be done with interactions is it's not really timed, it's interactions based not on the trigger, like not when something is clicked on or hovered, but on position on the screen. Let me show you. So imagine we want to add interaction to this image. Once it appears here, we want it to stretch and become bigger. Let's try to do that. So for that reason, we select this element as a trigger. We add interaction like we did before, and we can call it, I don't know, stretch. But now, instead of adding triggers or wherever, all we have to do is to set a position trigger. So you can see as I scroll, this number changes. This number represents the position of this element, position of your scroll on your page. So for example, when your scroll is right here, I want this transition to be triggered, just like that. So now I can go to the state number 2, and I can add scale to this image, just like that. That's it. Now I can preview my interaction, and it's been recorded. So now I can get out of my editor. I can switch to the staging. I will reload it, and I will show you how that works. So first interaction, you click on this button and you have a little effect of this image. Second one, once you scroll and this image appears, it starts scaling. So now it just scaled once. If you want it to scale back and be looped, you can come back to your interaction, select your stretch, enable this animate in both direction, just like that. You can also add some easings because it felt a little rough, and you can maybe even increase a duration, just like that. And now you can get out of your interaction, go back to your staging, refresh it, and now as you scroll, it grows, and now it grows back. You can adjust exact position and at moment of animation, but that's pretty much how it is. The difference between this and keyframes is when you animate something by keyframes, your animation is actually controlled by your scrolling. Here it's really not. It waits until the image falls into a certain frame, and then it triggers an animation, just like that. That's it. Go and try it yourself.